Howdy, hey YouTube. Did you like that parry? I thought you'd like that parry. This is my Angela Uberwald build, aka Pure Strength. Is it optimized? No. You need more vigor, right? Take a couple points out of strength, a couple points out of endurance combination, one or the other. Get that vigor to 58 minimum, 60 if you're cool, and you'll be good to go. I just wanted to wield the greatsword and the clean wrought nightsword in my offhand, and that's really heavy. So if you don't plan to wield those ultra heavy weapons, you can take a couple points out of endurance, and that'll be just fine. I just wanted more strength because I wanted the option to one-hand if I did some sword and board. I didn't for this video, so you might as well be better than me. I thought this little invasion was funny. I kept it because, you know, you're in this stupid box, you're trying to buy some space, and the host just kills himself in the elevator shaft. Vacuous applause, please. Much needed. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter video today, but I just felt like playing on a pure strength build. Is it the best build in the current meta? No, but hey, patch 110 strength build is still very, very fun. I had a blast. Hyper armor kind of sells this build, in my opinion. It's a great part, and I still like the utility. Grand times were had, and I just wanted to get you the best of the clips, just some fun little moments to get you by. It's kind of neat. I finished the lore through, for those of you who are paying attention to that part of the channel. 130 episodes, can you imagine that? Crazy, right? But now I can focus a little more on PvP, and I broke my 130-day upload streak because I didn't have the, the lore through coming out anymore. It was pretty easy to put out, pretty minimal editing, right? The skill requirement was significantly lower than facing off against other players, but hey, we're here, we're at it. I don't know where we're going to take the channel from here on out, but we're going to have some fun invasions in the meantime and kind of relax a little bit, take a load off. Just enjoy ourselves, get up to some professional goofing perhaps, maybe just casual goofing, who knows, right? But I'm glad to have you here. Here's something you may not have known. Warcry on a Colossal Sword changes your heavy attack. You probably knew that part. The part you may not have known, and I swear I've harped on it before, but I may not have demonstrated it, is that if you hit somebody with a heavy attack, even uncharged, when you have Warcry active on a Colossal Sword, it will stun them long enough that you can hit them with a follow-up light attack. Observe. Good old Warcry heavy into light, and he's gone. He could not escape, could not roll away. Pretty easy two-hit combo, and because Colossal Swords do the big damage, and Warcry helps you do big damage, it does very well at exactly that. It's good at cleaning up kills. And that's something that I really like about this strength build, is that I have a lot of utility. I have a smaller inventory-ish. I played with two different inventory styles across these videos, and both times I decided to keep Warcry on the Colossal Greatsword. And it's just a great tool for that. It's a lot of fun. Lots of fun. But if you pay close attention and then stick around to the end of the video, you'll probably see that alternate inventory style. I stole it from a YouTuber. I say stole, I just kind of copied his layout and then made a few choices for my own personal tastes. An inventory style used by Steelovsky currently in the patch 110 about. It's pretty simple. You just have your top row as usual with stuff you want to fast swap to, and then you have a row or two of stuff you like, and then you have just a row after that of a singular item. For usually it's Ash of War, right? So for the strength build, Stormhawk Axe, easy pick, and then you have another row of weapons, and then you have another row of Stormhawk Axes. It wasn't on screen there, but it'll be on screen later, right? And it seems to be the fundamental point of this build is that you have more core weapons, and then just by switching up or down quickly, you can get access to a Stormhawk Axe. And the reason why you do that instead of having 25 Stormhawk Axes, so you can use a trigger to switch to them, is because you decided to fill those 25 slots up with something else, right? And it seems what's really strong in this current iteration of the game is punch or claw weapons paired up with endure, something with a double hit, right? You can switch to it to finish somebody off if you just need 2 hits because they have latency or whatever, or you can endure really fast and just trade like some sort of monster. I don't think I do any in-dirt gaming in this video, but I had access to it, so that's the reason for the inventory. I mostly just felt like playing as Angela. I like Angela. She's from the Discworld novels. Read them. They're great. Terry Pratchett is a wonderful author. I'll stop harping about that, though. But I just really... I'm enjoying where the game's at right now, right? I'm enjoying making these builds. I've been tuning them up for the most part. No new builds just yet. But we'll get there. Well, I have some in the works. I just need to get them topped off and then get some footage for you. So there will be more videos to come. But I like where the game is at right now. I like how populated it is. People seem to have been sticking around a little longer after the initial patch, which is neat. I like seeing people. Gotta find time to play in the evenings, which is tough because I have a very early morning job. And I get people with the best ping in the evening, but I need to go to bed at a reasonable hour, which is tough. Morning gaming has me playing with Europeans or people in Asia or something. The 180 to 200 ping bracket, it feels like when I play this game in the morning, which on my days off, that's when I would play, right? But then I go to bed early when I don't have days off, so it's just this... I'm in this funny little realm where I don't get to play with other people in North America most times of the week. But I digress. This was a fun duo. They weren't the most competent, but they had so much thrown at me the whole time that it was just kind of a dodge fest. And I felt like, even though this wasn't the most exciting clip, I wanted to show off sometimes what you have to deal with. You gotta be more patient than the other guy. And look at that. You can get right in people's face with a light thrusting sword. The frostpot hits him after a weird delay. Light thrusting swords are in a scary place right now, folks. They're quite oppressive. They're not, like, you know, super incredible or anything, but they're good enough that you gotta treat them with respect. If somebody's getting your face and poking, you want to back off or hit them where it hurts. That's how it is. Here's another thing I've come to notice, and I feel like it's a lesson I have to relearn because I have an incredibly small brain. Strength builds hit hard. They do really well. They don't hit, like, exceptionally hard, but they always do well, and they seem to do well against a myriad of folks, right? Whenever I play on, like, a spell sword or a lot of wizard builds that aren't, like, really finely tuned, right? I feel like I'm just doing okay damage. On a strength build, my damage is always enough, right? It's enough to make people back off. It's enough to have a really low kill time. And of course, playing at the meta level of 137 or wherever this build's at, of course, the damage is phenomenal, right? I mean, I can just crouch poke this guy. Bam! 45. That's a good chunk of his HP. You know, get him frosted or whatever. Hit him with a running heavy, 668, or 668. He's almost gone. I can swap to the fists and make him regret life. Get some quick hits. You know, get a damage buff. Just, the strength build is good. And you feel good when you play with good things. And part of me kind of has a little bit of chagrin for that, right? It makes me a little sad because I like playing with off-meta things. I'm sure you know if you've been watching the channel. Like, I do meta things, I do off-meta things, I do fun builds, whatever. Haven't done any super gimmicky builds on video yet, but all the builds are supposed to be fairly well-rounded, but just after playing a few wizards and pyromancers recently, and then going back to a strength build, it's night and day. Just, the damage is nothing to shirk at. No, it's pure damage. None of that split damage stuff. You're only dealing with one of their resistances. So you get the number up high, and you make people regret ever going against you. This was funny, because this was actually a rematch, this particular invasion. I lost the first one, felt bad, and I re-invaded them, and I decided, you know what, they're going to be really good against me in a 2v1. They just know how to work together. They're probably talking on Discord or something, right? Coordinating their efforts. I'll wait a minute until a friend shows up, and once a friend showed up, he actually appeared closer to my foes than I could. And so I ran right in there. We were able to split up. We found our 1v1s, which is pivotal if you're an invader. You gotta find your 1v1s where you can, especially while you're learning, right? And it just changes the fight, right? He can get hits up on me, but he's not doing anything devastating. I can switch it up to poison, make him panic a little bit, switch to the clean rot because I was anticipating he was going to get a chance to heal. He did not, and game over. I have redeemed my poor quality gaming. And it's neat. I don't know. It's a fun little success. I feel like every time I do get revenge on somebody who previously stomped me, right? Even if we match up a third time and they win after that, I feel immensely better about the situation. Kind of funny to me, you know? It's not something I want to have affect me all too much, of course, you know, whenever you do poor in the gaming, but everyone might get a little sour after a string of losses. Have I had a string of losses in a while? No, actually, I've been doing pretty well since patch 110. Haven't had a losing streak. I had more than my fair share of losing streaks during patch 1.09, so it wasn't that long ago that I had my scrub moments. But look at that. Jumping heavy, sword dance, he misses the parry. Sword dance combos again. Sword dance comboed earlier in the game's lifespan, right? And then they did something in one of the patches. I don't know which one. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But then they made it so that after the first hit, you could roll away with ease. And that neutered poor sword dance. It was kind of only good for hitting people with a shield who were guarding and not moving, which is very specific situation, making it kind of a waste of an Ash of War. There's other better Ashes of War you could have that could break shields, right? But now that sword dance combos again, it's wonderful. And look at this silly great bow double kill on the roots. I keep showing up on these darn roots. Oh my goodness. They don't stop putting me in places where I have to use a great bow. This wasn't supposed to be a great bow video, but I digress. Actually, I undigress. Second thought, I was playing co-op with a friend of mine recently, right? And we were in those branches of the Halig tree, and we got invaded, and I was using the Jar Cannon and the Great Bow with Golem Arrows to knock all the envoys off the branches, just to play it safe, because it's a really risky area. Invaders definitely can kill you just as easily as you can kill them, right? So we get invaded, we have a blue show up, blue to help him out, because, you know, it makes my friend more comfortable that we have blues getting us out of danger. Why not? It's his adventure. Blue's AFK, typical dirty blue behavior, right? Red shows up, not a problem. I get in position, we finally get him to engage, I knock him off the roots, right? I wish I had footage, I don't have proof. So you're just gonna have to believe me or believe I am totally psychotic. Not long after I knock that initial red off of the branches, right, another red shows up, completely different name, completely different build, setup, whatever. Our blue is still there, still AFK, and I asked my friend, did you turn Taunter's Tongue on? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Having a 3v2 sounds like a Dark Souls 3 thing. What is going on, right? And so this new red shows up, he hits my friend with a big, hefty lightning bolt, knocks him off the branch. Thankfully, it's not game over. My friend just lands down below where there are some ants. He's in trouble, but he's not out for the count, right? And so I'm able to, you know, line up another shot, kill the second red in the exact same spot where I killed the first red by knocking him off the branch or whatever, and then the blue is sent home. Very bizarre situation. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's a glitch or if I'm high and I just, you know, confused the first red for the second red. I don't know what happened. I feel crazy. I feel bad even telling this story, but that's what I witnessed. That's what I remember. My friend was there. He could corroborate it, but yet again, we have no proof. It doesn't make any sense. The game doesn't allow for 2v3s, to my knowledge. I've had some weird situations where a blue sticks around after we've killed a red, weirdly enough. It has something to do with when they spawn in, I guess. So I don't know. Weird things have happened, and I wish I had documented. I don't record my PvE sessions. I feel like people wouldn't care too much or be too interested, but I digress. Weird situation where we had a look back at Dark Souls 3 for just a moment. 2 reds, 3, you know, co-opers, even though our blue was AFK, as blues are all the time. I think it's so funny that you can have the blue circlet on or whatever, and it'll just pull you in from the round table hold even if you're AFK or what have you. Still. Anyway, back on point with the invasion. You see those 2 kills earlier? The Waves of Darkness and the good old Stormhawk axe? You gotta find your 1v1s. I turned a cramped 3v1 into several 1-on-1s in the same invasion, and it did wonderfully for turning the tide in my favor. This guy, I was afraid he was going to run throughout the whole dungeon, but after getting himself to a safe spot, safely away from me, he decides to stand and fight. And look at him, he is a single Naginata, cross Naginata user, honest Naginata. You gotta praise those people. You gotta salute those good sirs. for doing all they can for honesty. Well, if you stuck around this long in the video, here's the build for you on screen, a little more in detail. Flask of Wondrous Physic, if you don't like getting consecutive hits for your damage, you can put a 10 strength in there, or anything else, really. But it's all here on screen. I will reiterate briefly what I said earlier. Get your vigor up to 58 or 60, right? You can take out of endurance, you can take out of strength. It's not going to kill you, right? Do a little math, go to the Elden Ring planner on the internet, right? Find out how much endurance you need, because chances are you may not need the greatsword with the offhand Clean Rot Knight sword. I do, because I like being able to smack people with big sword, and then when they're really low, poke them to finish them off. If you like that, you can do that as well. If you want to save on some weight, you could use the Zweihander instead, and still do that. You probably just need to configure your weight for, I don't know, 2 Great Lances, or maybe 2 Rusty Anchors. Maybe switch out your first and second talisman for those branch swords. You know, do the weight optimization. Figure out what your upper limit's going to be, and you'll do just fine. Anyways, thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a good one, and bye-bye.